Alright, what's going on, boys? So today, we're obviously discussing my Motocross Nations picks for this weekend, which is in a few days, I believe. The gameplay is MXGP3 on Matterley Bays in MXON Nation mode, in case you're wondering. So I'm going to be going through my top 10, starting at number 10. Just before anyone thinks I'm biased towards any country, I'm Canadian, and last year we got 24th, so we got embarrassed last year. This year, probably going to not make the top 10 as well. So before anyone says I'm biased towards certain countries or whatever, I'm Canadian and we suck. So starting off at number 10, I got Slovenia. And the only reason I'm putting them in the top 10 is because of Tim Geiser. He kind of choked away the MXGP championship this year at the second last round to Jorge Prado. And last year they finished 9th with Tim Geiser, John Pankar, and Miha Bubnik. I can't even pronounce their names. So this year I'm bumping them down to number 10. Instead of Miha, they got Jack Hab, Peck Glaj, don't know how to pronounce his name. I think Geiser could carry this team to the top 6, top 5, potentially. Jan Pankar can have some good results here and there. But I think realistically, Slovenia just gets in the top 10 and maybe could be even outside of it. We'll have to see though. So coming in at number 9, we have Team Switzerland. Last year they got 6th, so this year I'm bumping them down a few spots to number 9. Jeremy Sewer had an off year on his Kawasaki. I don't like him on that bike. I don't think he should have went to that team. And I think he's going to continue to struggle. They got Valentin Guillot. I don't know how he's done this year, if he's raced at all in the MXGP class. And Arnold Tonis, I believe was retired or something, unless I'm mistaken. So basically, I just don't think Switzerland is as prepared as they were last year. But Sewer still can have a good race here and there, so I think he'll be the guy that might carry them to the top 7 potentially. But I don't see them getting higher than that, really. And I wouldn't be surprised if Switzerland gets maybe 10th. But I think they're a little better than Slovenia, so I'll put Switzerland at number 9. Now coming in 8th, we have the United Kingdom, the British, the Bean Lovers. Last year they got 10th with Ben Watson, Josh Gilbert, and Conrad Muse. This year they have Anstey, Muse, and Searle, so definitely an improvement on their roster. And with Anstey kind of getting used to that Yamaha bike, I think they could easily be 7th or 6th. I think their roster is stronger than Switzerland's and Slovenia. But I believe Muse and Searle are kind of a question mark. I think they've done like the British Championship and stuff like that. But I don't think they've raced in the MXGP for a few years now. But Anstey was finally getting his feet on the Yamaha in the US, especially at the World Supercross, Motocross bullshit thing. So UK at number 8, and I could see them potentially being even higher if they get good starts. Now coming in at number 7 is Belgium. I was going to put them to win the whole thing a few weeks ago, but then you had Liam Everts getting injured, and then you had Sasha Koenen getting injured, so now their roster is Lucas Koenen, who could potentially win the moto for Belgium. Then you have Jago Geerts, who was injured throughout the whole entire season, tried to come back a few weeks ago, decided to sit out, continue recovering from his injuries. So I think Geerts is the biggest question mark. We don't really know what his potential is or if he's even healthy. But he could still bag maybe a top 5 or a top 10, something like that. Who knows? He is a big question mark. And then they have Brent Van Donik, my rival in my goddamn channel. He always crashes into me in these MXGP games. And in the background gameplay, you might see me take him out just for a little special side note. Van Donik, he's a reliable rider. He'll probably get top 15, something like that. If he gets a good start, he could stay up there for a little while, but he was probably their weakest rider on the team. Belgium, I could see them being a little higher, but Jago Geerts is a big question mark for me, so I honestly, 7th I think is a safe spot for them. Last year they got 5th with Liam Everts, Jago Geerts, and Lucas Koenen, but I believe that's when they were all kind of healthy. This year Koenen is just a different animal. He is dominant. If they had Liam Everts and they had Sasha Koenen there, I would put them at number 1 straight away. But for now, putting them at number 7. At number 6, we have Germany. So last year they got 4th with Ken Roczen, Langenfelder, and Tom Koch. Funny last name. But this year they have Roczen, Langenfelder, and Maximum Noggle, who hasn't ridden in the MXGP for quite a while now. I think Roczen will probably get good starts and maybe get top 3, top 5. That's kind of where I see him finishing. Noggle, I have no clue whatsoever. He could be outside the top 10, have a horrible result. I really don't know. He's my biggest question mark. Langenfelder is a guy who's very inconsistent. He can win you a race, or he can finish 20th. You never really know with him. So that's the only reason why I think Germany will get bumped down a couple spots. And that is mainly because I think the other teams got a little better ahead of them. So yeah, Germany at number 6. At number 5, I'm putting United States of America. That's right, boys. I'm sure everybody in the comments is already just writing, oh, you're such a goddamn idiot. USA's the king. God bless America, greatest country in the world. But you got to hear me out here. So I think Tomac is obviously their strongest rider. I think he did good at Redbud a few years ago when they had a Motocross Nations. But I think he could easily win a moto, or he could easily have a stinker and get 10th. Tomac, he's a fantastic rider, and he's been riding great lately. But for some reason, I'm just a little questionable on him at the Motocross Nations for whatever reason. But I still think he'll do good. Then Cooper Webb going on the 250. I don't know about that. Yes, Webb is quick, but in the outdoors, he hasn't been good for years now. And going on a new bike on the 250, I just think the competition is so much better than it was when he was on the little bikes. So I honestly think Webb is going to struggle on that little bike, especially against all those other guys. Then you have Aaron Plessinger, who could easily be the weakest rider, or he could have a surprising day and be the strongest. You never really know with Plessinger. I could see him maybe getting a good start and then tipping over in a moto. He's a guy that'll probably get you solid mid results, and that's what they need. But I don't think he's going to get top 3, maybe top 5. I believe he got 5th in a moto last year. But I believe Motocross Nations has a stronger lineup this year. Would I be surprised if USA gets higher? No. Would I be surprised if they go lower? No. I think they're a questionable team for me this year. If their lineup was Tomac, Deegan, and Plessinger, I'd probably put them in 2nd or 1st. But I'm not sold on Webb or Plessinger just yet. So coming in at number 4, I have put Spain. Last year they got 7th with Ruben Fernandez, Jorge Prado, and Oriol Oliver. Don't know how to pronounce his name. They have the same lineup this year, but the reason why I'm putting them higher is just because I believe Jorge Prado is just a madman at the moment. He's going to get them solid results, get hole shots probably every single moto. Ruben Fernandez, even though he was hurt at the start of the year, he is a guy that can easily get you a podium or maybe even a win if he's on the fucking money. So we'll just have to wait and see with him. With Oliver, I have no clue about him really. I don't know what place he finished in the MX2 standings this year, if he raced there. So he's their biggest question mark for sure. But Jorge Prado is Jorge Prado. He's the MXGP champion back-to-back. And I think he is going to win a moto at the Motocross Nations. I'm guaranteeing that. I think putting them at number 4 might be a bit too high, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, coming in at number 3, I have got Australia. Obviously, you have Jet and Hunter Lawrence. And then you have Kyle Webster, who I believe did a couple rounds this year in the States. I probably am wrong about that, but I swear I remember seeing a random guy doing good at Redbud. Obviously, Jet Lawrence could probably win every single moto. He's a goddamn madman on the motorcycle right now. He is still coming off an injury, but I think he's back to a normal self. He's Jet Lawrence. He's a goddamn freak of nature. Then you have his brother, Hunter Lawrence, who can get wins, can get results, but he's very questionable, especially with the outdoors this year. You've seen how he had some weird motos. I'm not too sold on Hunter Lawrence. I think he's a great rider, but I think there's a lot of other riders that are quicker than him at this event. He could maybe get like a 4th, but then he could also get like a 12th. It's kind of hard to say with Hunter Lawrence, so we'll have to wait and see, of course. Then you have Kyle Webster. Not too sure about him. He is racing the MX2, so I guess he could do better in that class, but there's so many quick guys at the Motocross Nations this year. It's going to be insane, and especially with the track being at Matterley Basin, it's going to be a fast track, so it'll be very interesting for sure. I was tempted to put Australia 1st or 2nd, but I think with Hunter Lawrence being kind of a question mark for me, and Kyle Webster being probably the weakest link by far, I just knocked them down a spot. Yes, last year they got 2nd, but I think the magic will run out a little bit this year. Now coming in at number 2, I put last year's winners, France. They had Tom Vial, Maxime Moreau, and Romain Fevre last year, and they are sticking with the exact same lineup. The only reason I am putting them at number 2 is just because the guys at number 1, I think, have a stacked damn lineup. Romain Fevre can obviously still get moto wins. Maxime Moreau is a solid top 5 guy. He's kind of coming off injuries this year a little bit, but he can still get it done. Tom Vial had a very shaky outdoors. He won a few motos, but he crashed a lot. Every time he got out front or was battling, doing good, he fell over in a corner, threw away his motos. So I could see Tom Vial doing something like that this weekend. Hopefully not, because I'm a Tom Vial fan. I want to see him do good. But yeah, France at number 2, and at number 1, I think everyone probably knew this was going to happen. The Netherlands, you have Jeffrey goddamn Hurlings. He's pretty much back to his normal self. And with it being a fast track like Matterley Basin, he could still have a questionable round, but he is right now in the MXGP class. I think he's the fastest rider. He's left quicker than Prado and Geis for the last like 5-6 rounds, and he will probably be a man on a mission this weekend. Then you have Kai de Wolf, who just won the MX2 world title. I think Lucas Kunin was kind of quicker than him at the end of the season, but Kai DeWolf can still dominate certain races. At the start of the year, he was just unbeatable. He was insane. We'll see how he does in Madely Basin. If it was like a sand track, I'd probably be guaranteeing him to win a race. But so yeah, Kai DeWolf is an animal, so he'll probably do some good results this weekend. And then you have Glenn Koldenhoff, who is probably the weakest link on the team, is a question mark. He did get a moto win this year at a qualifying race, I believe. Obviously, he's on the Fantic, which is, I don't know, it's hard to say if it's a good bike or not. I think he's taken a step back from the Yamaha and KTM days. But Glenn Koldenhoff can still rip, and once in a while he shows up for a moto. Wouldn't be surprised if he does that this weekend, even though the field is stacked. You're probably going to see him get a good start and hang in a top 5, top 7, something like that. Last year, the Netherlands got 18th. I don't think De Wolf or Vlanderen did well. And then Koldenhoff, it says he didn't start, so he must have got hurt or something like that. That was a really bad year for them last time. But this year, De Wolf is insanely quick. Hurlings is back to his normal self, and Koldenhoff hasn't been improving every single round. So I think the Netherlands are a lock for at least top 3. But for a win, that's where I think they're going to land. Now, some people may be wondering, where is Italy? I'm not too sold on Italy. Yes, last year they got 3rd, and I think they're rolling with the same lineup this year. Andre Adamo had an off season. I think he's going to struggle a bit. Bonacarzi and Verrazzo, I don't know. They're questionable. I think there's other faster riders in this weekend. There's faster riders than them. It's probably a bold prediction putting Italy outside the top 10. But I don't know. That's my hot take for this weekend. I think Italy will be outside the top 10. And you know what? I'm just for fun and shits and giggles, I'm going to predict where Canada is going to land. I'm going to put them at 12. I think Italy will probably get 11th and then Canada at 12th. The only difference is this year they're not having Ryder McNabb. They have Kevin Benoit in his spot. And Benoit usually does well at Motocross Nations. In 2016, he got like a top 8 result, I believe. He did really well there. And Dylan Wright, on his day, he is a good rider. He's done some MXGPs in the past. He can get some good results. Jess Pettis is probably the weakest link on this team. So I'm praying they do good and they don't get shit on and they don't even make the final day or whatever like they did last year. But that is my Motocross Nations picks for this weekend. Let me know what yours may be down below, what your hot takes are, etc. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, take care.